Modern computer gaming presents itself as freedom, infinite worlds, player choice, creativity without limits, a keyboard, a mouse, and a screen that promise escape from the constraints of the real economy. But that promise is an illusion carefully maintained by systems designed to stay invisible. Every smooth match, every online lobby, every digital item purchased in seconds is the final output of a machine built long before gaming became entertainment. This machine was not designed for fun. It was designed for control, efficiency, and the extraction. Gaming did not create the system. Gaming inherited it. What most players experience as play is, beneath the surface, a highly optimized financial and technological structure. One that decides where money flows, who bears risk, who owns access, and who can be quietly removed with the flip of a switch. The more immersive games became, the less visible these systems needed to be. This is the story of how modern computer gaming came to run on the same hidden logic as global finance, platform monopolies, and the attention economies. A story of infrastructure first, entertainment second, and a story that only makes sense when traced chronologically, layer by layer. Before games existed, computers served institutions, governments, militaries, and the corporations funded early computing not to entertain, but to calculate, predict, and dominate. Ballistics tables, cryptography, logistics optimization, and the economic modeling drove innovation. These machines centralized powered by centralizing computation. The earliest games emerged accidentally inside this environment. Engineers needed ways to test systems, visualize processes, and justify budgets. Games were demonstrations, not products. Access remained restricted to those already inside the system. This origin matters because it established a core rule that never changed. Whoever owns the machine owns the outcome. Early gaming inherited the logic of mainframes, where users were guests and the administrators held absolute authority. As personal computers entered homes, it appeared that power had decentralized. In reality, control merely shifted. Hardware manufacturers dictated capabilities. Operating systems defined what software could do. Publishers controlled distribution. Every layer introduced dependency. The idea of gaming as an open playground was marketing. The structure beneath it already resembled an industrial supply chain. The true foundation of modern gaming lies in abstraction layers. Players see characters, physics, and the stories. Developers see engines, APIs, and the toolkits. Beneath both lies hardware executing instructions it never explains. Graphics APIs standardized how games talk to machines. This removed complexity, but also removed choice. Developers optimized for dominant standards. Hardware vendors optimized for popular engines. Smaller alternatives faded. This mirrors financial clearing systems. Individual traders see prices. Banks see accounts. Clearinghouses see flows. Power accumulates where abstraction hides detail. Networking followed the same pattern. Early multiplayer relied on fragile, decentralized connections. Scale demanded central servers. Servers demanded capital. Capital demanded predictability. Predictability demanded control. Once servers became the backbone of gaming, ownership changed permanently. Worlds existed only as long as servers stayed online. Rules lived in databases, not cartridges. Players stopped owning games and started renting access. Digital distribution completed the transformation. Physical media once limited power. Manufacturing costs, retail space, and logistics imposed friction. Digital platforms removed friction entirely. Platform owners became the new central banks of gaming. They issued access, processed payments, controlled feasibility, and enforced rules. Developers became economic participants inside privately governed systems. Revenue models shifted accordingly. One-time purchases gave way to continuous extraction. Subscriptions stabilized cash flow. Microtransactions fragmented spending into psychologically painless increments. Data replaced intuition. Every action became a metric. Engagement curves replaced design philosophy. Retention replaced satisfaction. Monetization systems borrowed directly from behavioral finance and casino economics. Variable rewards increased spending. Artificial scarcity drove urgency. Time-limited offers simulated inflation. Digital currencies disconnected players from real-world prices, just as financial instruments abstract risk. What emerged was not a gaming industry, but a parallel economy. Eventually, the system demanded more than money. It demanded time at scale. Progression systems slowed deliberately. Grinding normalized repetitive labor. Advancement became conditional. Players paid with hours or cash, sometimes both. Virtual items gained real-world value. Secondary markets flourished. Entire professions emerged inside games. Gold farmers, traders, A&D boosters operated like informal labor forces feeding centralized platforms. Professional gaming followed the same logic. Esports organizations, streamers, A&D content creators generated enormous value while remaining dependent on algorithms and platform policies they could not influence. Developers faced similar pressure. Live service models required perpetual output. Deadlines tightened. Risk tolerance collapsed. Creativity narrowed to what could be monetized and measured. As growth slowed, consolidation accelerated. Large corporations absorbed studio, engines, and intellectual property to reduce uncertainty. Vertical integration replaced competition. Cloud gaming extended abstraction to its extreme. Processing moved entirely off local machines. Ownership dissolved further. Games became streams, not software. This mirrored broader economic trends. Asset-light models reduced consumer rights. Subscriptions replaced property. Access replaced possession. Preservation suffered. Games disappeared when servers shut down. Digital history became contingent on profitability. Regulators responded slowly. Definitions failed to keep pace. Systems exploited gray areas. Control remained intact. Transparency initiatives promised fairness. Rating systems warned consumers. Alternative platforms emerged. None altered the incentive structure. Revenue still rewarded retention over quality. Scale still favored incumbents. Data still flowed upward. Resistance became another metric to manage. Modern computer gaming now mirrors global financial systems. Centralized authorities issue currencies. Artificial scarcity drives value. Participants provide labor and liquidity. Rules change without consent. The same cause and effect patterns repeat across technology. Convenience masks dependency. Abstraction hides control. Scale rewards opacity. Gaming did not invent these systems. It normalized them. First, modern gaming is infrastructure-driven, not creativity-driven. Invisible systems define outcomes. Second, financial incentives shape design more than artistic intent ever could. Third, awareness restores leverage. Systems lose power when they become visible. The future of gaming depends on whether these systems remain hidden or are confronted directly. Until then, the machine continues operating, quietly converting play into predictable, extractable value.